be ready to be called upon and have to sit in the chair next to me. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. All right, this is the last class of our second term of the Living LAM RIM. And we're moving at a snail's pace, and I don't care. It'll take us 20 years to go through this, but I think it'll be totally worth it. All right. So where were we? At the end of last class, we were talking about what happens when we move off the object. Like, okay, so we're focusing in meditation, your focus, and then your mind scatters and it just goes over to something else like lunch or to coffee. My favorite thing is I can't actually use my phone in meditation, like as a timer, because I'll be there like, right? Or I'll be like, oh my God, I got a notification. And then all of a sudden I'm in Instagram, right? Like, even if I turn it all off and I'm still using the timer, somehow like there's this habit of just grabbing for this stupid thing, right? And it ruins the meditation. So literally I have to keep the phone away, even if I want to keep track of my sessions, But the idea is that Pabonka Rinpoche was making a distinction between when your mind moves off a virtuous object and then moves in or moves to a virtuous object. And he kind of made all these weird distinctions of, well, you actually don't, there's different time frames that you get attracted to certain things and different things. And he basically was saying that being attracted to objects of the senses, like coffee or phones, is more common than to virtuous things or things that we're pissed off about. I don't know if I agree with him. In my in my meditations, I would say I'm probably half to things that I'm attracted to, like my sense objects, and then half of it is thinking about how someone irritated me. But he's the meditation master. Maybe he's just so good. Maybe what he's talking about is his meditation is so good. Right. But basically, we were saying that only certain kinds of moving off the object were considered, hold on, was actually considered agitation. And then at the end of this last line here that we left here in 117, he said, well, actually, they both take us off the object, so they're both considered agitation. It doesn't matter the type of thing your mind goes off of, whether it goes to something good, bad, or indifferent. It's still not on the object. So he makes this big long distinction, and then he says, "Don't worry about it." He just says, "Moving on." So I'm like, "All right, thanks for spending all the time on it. Not sure why you. I mean, mainly the reason he does these things is to get us thinking about it, and that's the Tibetan way of doing it. They think about it. They give you all the wrong ways to get to the right way. So it's not a waste of time. In my world, I just was like, just tell me what it is and let's move on. But I think you actually learn it better when you get kind of the wrong answer first, have to debate it, and then get to the right answer. So that's why we spent 6 verses on it last time. So now we're going to finish today, I hope, subtle dullness and subtle agitation. Oh, this isn't going to work. All right. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I got to figure out how to make this work. Sorry. I'm sorry. We're just doing something in the room here, and it's okay. Fine. Let me just reset this up differently. All right, we'll do it this way then. Okay. All right. For those of you in the room, the part in the green box is what everyone else is seeing. The other parts of my notes do not, like, just so you understand what's going on here. Okay. All right. So the folks in the room, for those of you that weren't here earlier, oh, you're not gonna be able to see that because you're not gonna be able to see that. There's a bunch of people in the room here in Barcelona. So we're gonna have some people come up and read, like Anastasia. She's gonna come first. Okay. So you're gonna read 118 here. Why aren't you showing up in the picture? There she is. Okay.
Migden yiki yune shote rande hlaku kompana jeshine shikne jengrowa jowa tar migden shorwani gopa kapada
Rakpadan.
Sorry.
Okay. Nice. You know why there's this thing on my face, but all right. So for you people studying translation, we ended this section here with a tongue. What does this word mean? And, right. So that means this sentence goes on. So we're going to go all the way down to, we're going to keep looking forward. And you want to look for an end of a sentence. And there's different ways sentences can end. And this is one of the ways with a terminating particle. So what we're looking at here is we have obvious or gross agitation, gupa rakpa. Then we have the and. And then right before we have the terminating particle, we have subtle agitation. Okay. So the reason this got split up is there's two ideas here. They're really two separate sentences. Well, it'll be translated into two separate sections, but it's actually one idea. Both are being defined here. And just if you want to look a little bit deeper for you nerds, here's the knee. There's a knee here. Oops. And there's a knee here. So this is indicating everything before it is the description, and right after it is the word that's being described. You can actually do it both ways. You can use the word first, knee, and then describe it. So you can actually do it both ways. So good luck. It actually becomes very clear after staring at it for about 10 years. So don't worry, we've only been doing it for about 20 weeks. So it's not a bad. So anyhow, so first we're going to get the definition of gross agitation. All right. So first, sure, which means to loosen your grip from an object that's in the mind. Okay. Something you're focused on mentally. In the MIG-10, we've been working on, we've had this word since 20 weeks ago. All right. It just means the meditation object. So something that's in the mind mentally that you're holding on to, that you're losing the grip. And I asked them to give me what is going on here with my video? Don't know why it has an effect on it. Now I'm upside down. Okay. Hold on. There's some kind of weird effect going on here, and I don't know why. That's why. There we go. Okay. All right. So you're holding on to this object, right? I'm holding on to this cup. And there's a certain tension that I'm putting onto it, right? Like if I let go eventually, if I let go of my tension too much, the cup just falls, right? You lose that. So what we're talking about is gross agitation. What happens when you're holding on to an object? What happens in gross meditation? First, you lose your grip on it. So you're starting to, if you held this here for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20, like at what point is my arm going to start shaking, right? Right now I'm like, I could do this forever. And then, give me about 15 minutes of it and I won't be able to, right? So first you're losing the grip on it, right? So you're losing the grip on the object, like you're about to forget it. Okay. Like you actually completely forget it. So you're losing the grip a little bit, and then you completely forget. You completely just lose the object entirely. So that's what gross agitation is. You're thinking about it, and then you just lose the object entirely. And then he uses the example here, like when you're meditating on the body of a deity, like you're visualizing, I don't know, Yamantika, you're visualizing Vajragini or something like that. So you're focusing on that. The image gradually falls apart until you entirely forget it. That's easy. Just forget it. Like you just go off to something else. That one's pretty obvious. That's why it's called gross. It's obvious. That's the first type of agitation. That's not the one we really care about. Okay. We care about that in the sense that if you're not able to stay in the object, like if you just completely move off, then you know you're off the object. But once you get good enough that you can hold this here for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, right? At what point is that grip going to be, you're just going to end up losing the whole thing? How do you know when you're about to lose it? Right? You haven't lost the object yet, right? But at what point do you feel like you're going to lose that? What you should do is you should put some olive oil on this, right? And then it just makes it's going to start slip. Like my fingers are starting to get tired. My fingers are getting tired. My fingers are getting tired. And I can feel it start slipping, right? It hasn't moved yet imperceptibly, but there's a moment where it's just going to slide out of my hands. And that's what we're going to talk about as 119. Louder. This is the penance for coming to a class live. Oops. Just 1 second. There.
Kyak okne chu yur patar mikten yitkima shorbar war.
Nice correction.
Semki sur ka cha chatsik ne dokpa ökgü gui süldüyül yittu Why? We ne nam we nampa char la kata bu
Bui.
bui. Good. Pe gutta yung chung wa chungwa. Chungwani.
Yes.
Gopa. Tramote.
Nice. Good. Yay. Okay. So we're going to now talk about subtle dullness. Gopa tramo. This is a capacity that you'll have to learn in your own meditation. I can talk about it till I'm blue in the face, but until you actually experience it yourself, there's no way to really, I can talk, but this is an experience. You have to have that direct experience. There's no other way of doing it. And once you do have it, then you go, oh, that's what they're talking about. What is that? What is that like? So, kyak is ice. Uk is under. Ch is water. All right. So, like the flow of gyupa, like the flow of water under the ice. Okay. So your meditation, here's what's going on here. You're holding on to the meditation object, right? It's like that ice. You're holding on to it. And the water is just like you can feel the water moving underneath. I can feel, I wouldn't say atom by atom, but I can feel the subtle movement of this cup downwards. Nobody's seeing the cup move. I'm not, and then the cup's hanging out there, right? But I can feel this almost movement of the cup. That's what subtle dullness is. You're focused on the object. You're there. You're not losing it. But there's like a little current under the ice, and it's almost like, I like to think of it as if you've done any of the Yoga Sutras, or if you've done anything with YSI and done Lady Naguma, when you're focused on a particular object, and then it's almost about to move, you feel the prana moving just a little bit. It's almost like the wind is about to start to blow, and you can feel the about to start to blow happen. Does that make sense? I'm watching the translators. Right? The wind is about to start to blow. And you can feel that about to start before it happens. And when you feel that before it happens, then you can say, oh, I'm about to lose the object. Stop the about the flow. You know what I mean? Stop the about of the blowing of the wind. That water is just sliding under the ice. And you're like, stop movement. It's almost like another seed is about to break through. You know, like, I don't know, like the Eskimos when they're ice fishing, and they cut just a little tiny hole in the ice, and then they wait there for the fish, right? Hours waiting for the seal, right? They're just hunting and waiting, and it's almost like the seal's under the water and goes, oh, that's a place for me to breathe. Puts his nose up, and then, you know, that's how they hunt, right? It's kind of like that. Like, you don't want that seal to poke its nose through the water, because now you're off the object. You're just like, hey, buddy, go back to sleep. Right? And then we're going to learn later in this meditation chapter how to put that seal back to sleep, how to stop that water flowing, how to stop the wind that's about to start to blow. You can, so there's techniques that when you feel that, then there are antidotes, or there's things you can do to stop the subtle movement of those winds, which are happening in your channels anyway. All right. Okay, what more does this say? We have not lost the object. So we have not scattered off mashorwa. We have not gone off the object, the mental object. But a part of your mind is like running below your awareness. So it's like you have awareness, you're focused on the cup, and part of your mind is below it, kind of watching. All right. So this is where it kind of gets tricky. It's like, well, what's watching what? Who's watching who? Don't worry about it. You can do all that analysis later when you're analyzing this with emptiness. But these are things that will happen in your meditation. A part of your mind will be able to notice the wind about to blow, right? That cup is, you're almost going to lose that object before it happens. So it's almost like, so what do I got here? I like this word K, on the verge, right? The object is on the verge of appearing, which is a attractive thing for the mind. Like some attractive object is about to emerge. A seed for something else is about to open up. And that's what we call. So Jungma is agitation is almost arising, meaning gross agitation is almost arising. And that's what we call subtle meditation, or subtle agitation. Okay. It's subtle, like it's almost there. It's like this almost. If you want to remember this word K, this is a great word. It's on the verge of. Does that make sense, everybody? Again, you kind of have to just, you have to do it. Like when you feel it, you go, oh, that's what they meant. Because you go, oh, it's almost like a part of your mind says, oh shit, we're about to lose the object. Now you can debate, well, did you, because you heard the part of your mind that said you're about to lose the object, did you lose the object? Pamukka does not deal with that. Okay, but that's the whole idea, is that you're about to lose the object, you recognize it, and then you apply the antidotes to firm that up. Oh, it's almost slipping, and then you're like, nope, I'm gonna hold on to that. I'm gonna kind of squeeze. I'm gonna increase the hold just a little bit more. What happens if I increase the hold too much? Well, you might lose brightness. Yep. Now, here's the trick of agitation. If you clamp down too hard, you get gross agitation. If you put too much energy onto the object, you bounce off. It's like, it becomes like a, if I throw the ball against the wall. I don't like that example, never mind. But the whole thing is that if you put too much energy in, then you'll break the cup. Basically, you'll break that object and you'll fly off to somewhere else. If you don't put enough energy into it, it'll slip out of your hand. Where's the sweet spot? That's where you got to find this. You got to find that sweet amount of attention and awareness. Like there's two different, we're going to learn about it later, that there's two, this answers the question. There's two different kinds of, there's awareness and attention. You can have awareness. Like right now, I'm looking around the room. I can see all the people. I can see the woman outside on her phone. I can see the sunshine. I can see all the things. But I'm focused on the cup, right? I see the cup of water right there, but I can see in my peripheral, I'm aware of all this other stuff. I'm aware of the sound of the air conditioning. I'm aware of the temperature. All those things are in the general awareness. I'm just not paying attention to them. But the attention is on the object. So those two things are actually in the mind at the same time. Two parts of the mind. We'll get there, guys. I suggest just meditating a lot, and then all this just makes sense. How about Alona? Yay! Here's the producer for these two events in Barcelona. Oh yes, there she is.
Thank you. Who cannot read Tibetan, but
Who cannot read Tibetan?
but has to.
You can.
Uh,
Just make noises.
yes. Desna gal kien di dak sot.
This is like diamond cutter. Dorje chupa. So chupa.
Chopa.
Mm-hmm.
Chopa.
Mm-hmm.
Inyen.
Mm-hmm.
Po. Something about chupa.
No.
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 Ni. Shes. Jin.
Sheshin.
Sheshin. Min. Tian.
Good.
They.
Mm-hmm.
Char. Tox.
Just those three letters.
Tok.
Mm-hmm.
Tok. Per.
Mm-hmm.
Na. Mak.
Mhm.
La. So. Yet.
Che.
Pa. Jin.
Sin.
Sin. Yin.
Jing.
Jin. Got. Jung.
Nice.
Mi. Jung. Tok.
Mm-hmm.
Pai. Shir.
Cheer.
Cheer. Du. Jet.
Che.
Che. Ya.
Gay.
Ge.
Mm-hmm.
Ki. Drukpa.
Mm-hmm.
She. Chin.
Shin.
Shin. Ten.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yay. Okay. All right. Just make noises and eventually you get it. Okay, so here we have a knee. All right, so we're gonna everything before this. So the antidote, which cuts off all the impediments, right? All the impediments to successful meditation. All right, so what is that antidote? The object, right? Okay, or the thing, right? What is that? What it's not, okay? It's the first thing it describes as what is not. The antidote which cuts off, basically the antidote to subtle dullness is not Sheshin. Okay. Sheshin is the awareness that's like, oh shit, you're going to lose the cup. All right. Sheshin is that awareness that goes, you're about to lose the object. But it's not min. It is not the antidote. Okay. It's just the thing that tells you what's going on. We oftentimes we call this like the alarm system, right? It's sort of like you're cooking in the kitchen and you're burning stuff and you're not paying attention. Like you're making cookies. I've done this. I made cookies and I go take a a bubble bath. And then I leave the cookies in too long because the bath is so great. And then all of a sudden the alarm goes off, right? And I'm in the bubble bath. Does the alarm stop the cookies from burning? No. What do I need to do now? I need to do something, right? I need to get out of the good bath, right? And I have to go then, open the windows, I gotta get the cookies, I gotta do all the things, right? So the alarm system, the Sheshin, the awareness, does not fix the problem. It just alerts you to the fact that there's a problem. All right. It's a component of char, like chartok. It's a component of it, dei. It's a component of the solution, but it's not the solution itself. Perna, for example, what did I use the word here? Okay. It's like the spy for the army. Okay. Soche. It's like spying, shin. Shin is ing in English. In some cases, okay, depending where it ends up. If it happens after a verb, it's the participle ing. So it's like spying, soche by shin, in the army, okay? You need to have the intelligence efforts in order for you to have a successful army. The intelligence is not what makes the army win the war. You still have to do something. All right, so whether or not chung, michung, whether dullness or agitation, whether it arises or not, okay. You have to rely upon, you must rely upon Sheshin. So whether or not those things are there, they will be there in your meditation. Okay, they will be there. But whether or not you're able to know whether they're there or not relies on Sheshin. It's just kind of telling you what's going on. And that's the 6th of the 8 antidotes, duches. Okay. So of all the meditation problems, there's 5 meditation problems and there's 8 solutions. This is number 6. All right. Number 6 is relying upon Sheshin. Okay, question. Is it the antidote? Is it actually a solution to the problem? It is a component of chartok. It's a component of the solution, but it's not the solution. The solution is number 7, which we'll learn about next term, which will be all the different things you do in subtle dullness, in subtle agitation, gross dullness, all the things you do to make those adjustments. Once you recognize it's there, then you have to do something, duche. You have to do something to be able to change it. And if you don't do something, that's the failure of the 4th problem meditation. Because the 4th problem meditation is now doing something to fix the problem. All right, here we go. 121. Let's get someone online and give the people here a little bit of a break. How about Emily Chen?
Deang, Sheshin, Yung Mi Chepa, Tena, Nampala, Exu, Yongshin, Sheshin,
Gyrshin.
Gyoshin, Sheshin.
Okay, so we have to do a little pronunciation. Shing, this is low tone. Gyr, She Shin. So this is high tone.
Shin, she shin.
Nice.
Tang na ma tena.
Mm-hmm.
Tinge jina. Yong shuk shin.
Kyunshuk. Kyunshu.
Kyungshu. Kyungshuk shin.
Sin.
Yang mi
Sorry.
sing.
Sin, yes.
Thank you. Sing. Yang Ming Shepa. Guma no your sing.
Care.
Ger zing.
Mm-hmm.
Pa. In. Do gyowa.
Nice. Yeah, that's hard because there's Shin, Sin, Shing, Shuk. It's all you have to kind of figure out which ones are high tone, low tone, what's going on. But nice job. Okay. If we rely upon Sheishin, if we rely upon this watchfulness, this watcher part of our mind, a general awareness of what's going on in the mind, right? There's just this general, want to call it like a spy, if you want to call it the soche, the soche bashing, like the spying, like a part of your mind that's always spying on the rest of it. Not really doing anything, just being like, what the hell's going on over there, right? And then reporting back. No yawning. I don't want to see any yawns in here. Spying on you. If you rely upon Sheishin without stopping, okay, without cutting off the flow, meaning if you're paying attention to it all the time, right? If you're listening to your spy all the time, this then becomes another obstacle to your meditation. All right. It's an obstacle to staying on the object, nepa, the staying. So now we get a different advice. You always want to have the spy there. You want to have the watchful person, the watchful mind there. But you don't want to have it there in a continuous flow, because if you do, then it becomes an obstacle to your meditation. All right. And then on the other hand, if you don't rely maten on Sheishin at all, if you completely cut it off, right, then you're engaging sukshin, a huge problem to developing Tenzin, single-pointed meditation. All right. Here's a structure for all of you translators. Sin means whatever has already happened. Okay. So it kind of gives us a sense of an action that's already completed. Right. So sin, shuk is enter, right? So if you are not relying at all on this spy, and you're just kind of like, I'm just going to hang out in subtle dullness, right? As actually that's what happens if you don't have it. Then you've already engaged a huge ass problem that's a not very literal translation, a big problem to your single pointed meditation, Tending Exam. All right. That this kyung actually fits into this. This is the on the other hand, for those of you that can see my notes. On the other hand. Okay. And this is kind of like not having awareness when the jewels have been, your wealth has been taken away, by a robber. Okay, meaning, what do I put down here? When someone steals your wallet out of your pocket without you knowing. All right. So this whole thing, if you don't have Sheishin, it's like walking through the market and not realizing your wallet's been pickpocketed. You're just walking through the market and you're like, I'm going to go buy everything. I'm going to buy all this cool shit, right? And then all of a sudden, you don't have the money because someone's took it from you, but you didn't even realize it. And this is the whole thing, is that the Mishepa, you don't even realize it. It's actually very, very strong what it says here. And that's why this, for translator, that's why the kyung is here. And it's not in the beginning here. It's giving this really big. On the other hand, this not knowing is a huge problem. If you don't know what's going on in your mind, if you're not checking in on a regular basis, then you're just going to get stuck and you're not going to be able to progress in your meditation. So that's when then we kind of say, well, if I have to check in with my mind, then I'm moving off the object. Okay. But if you check in with your mind and you realize you're off the object, good. Or if you get in and say, well, under the ice is about. There you go. You guys back? Okay, you guys froze. I don't know if you heard what I said. Did you hear what I said? Shake your head. No. Okay. Okay. I don't know what I said. I said if you're not checking in, then either you won't recognize you're off the object and you're off thinking about the great dinner we're going to have tonight. Or if you're not checking in, you might be having good meditation, but then you're about to slip off the object. And then by the time you slipped off the object and you're thinking about something else and you checked in later, you're off the object. But checking in at the right moment to say, oh, I'm about to lose that object, tighten down. Or, oh, I'm a little dull. I need to bring up the nar a little bit. I need to bring up the intensity. You know, it's like when you come out of Sedona on the highway, the very first exit is trucks have to get off and they have a weight station. They weigh the trucks and they do an inspection. It's like that. You're on the highway and then it says all trucks must exit, you know, and you have to get off, check the weight of the truck, and then get back on the highway again, right? You don't want to be spending a lot of time there, but just go, okay, what's going on? Get back on the highway. You get back on the highway, make any adjustments necessary, and keep on moving. Then you got to figure out how much do you check in. You know, so what ends up happening is that the better and better your meditation gets, the more and more you check in and make the antidotes, the correct solutions to the problems, then eventually you have to do less and less corrections. And to the point where you check in and you don't have to make a correction anymore. That you actually have the nar, you actually are focused, you don't have subtle dullness, you don't have subtle agitation. You're just on the object. Then you don't have to make any corrections. And if you can hold that long enough and you don't have to make any corrections, then you don't have a need for Sheishin anymore. And then you can do some cool shit. All right. But speaking of cool stuff, let's go to 122. How about, Isabella, are you translating? Oh, you don't have your INT up. Dang. How about Jackie?
Yang Chenla, Yuba, Ringpa,
Sheishin.
Shazen,
Sheishin, yes.
Station. Soze pa tarshe shin gra.
Drick.
Great.
Dry. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Your reading is getting very good. It's very surprising after like 20 weeks. You're doing very, very well. So Chakchen Le in the Great Seal, Mahamudra, Chakchen Le. Okay, on the teaching of the Chakchen Le. For translators, okay, when you see something short like this, you don't know what the words mean, and you see the word lay, usually this means from whatever this book is. Okay, chak can mean bow down, it can mean seal, it can mean a lot of things. Chakchen is the Great Seal. It also has a tantric meaning as well. But typically anything before it will be very clear that it's quoting scripture or quoting some text, and you'll be able to tell because afterwards at some point you'll see a shepa. So if you're like, I don't know what the heck this means, look further on and see a shepa. You go, okay, that means whatever's between here is a quote. All right, so here's our quote. All right, so dok means make ready. Sheishin is your awareness, which is an awareness, rikpa, of your thoughts, gyupa. All right. So you need to make ready. I like this. Dok, make ready that awareness to be aware of your thoughts. Okay. So it's kind of a nice way to close it up. Like just make something ready to be aware, which is kind of the idea of this. The water's flowing under the ice. Can your awareness be ready to be aware of something that's about to happen? Okay. Your awareness is ready to be aware. Okay. Simply, it's just your fire alarm in the kitchen. Your fire alarm is programmed to go off when you burn the cookies. Right? It's good for you. If it didn't go off, then you would burn your house down. All right. So you learn how to put something in your mind that triggers when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in meditation. And so you have to train it to do that. It's just the fire alarm that's well trained. You have your battery in it, like, and it's ready to go. And it goes off when it's supposed to. It's like something that's automatic. All right. And here's another word for state of readiness. Dradrik. All right. And your sheshin is just ready. Right. It's just a ready state of mind. All right. All right, 123. And then we're done with this section. Yay. Persis. I want you to read just to there.
Kẹp sụt yên cổ ngón mi ngón kỹ thọ ba check nấy chóa ra chế cổ thế yo chiêu lệ
Chujuk lay.
juk lệ. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good job. Okay. So here we have Jinga, dullness and agitation. Whether or not these two have arrived, Ong Myong, whether these two have arrived, Kep Su, from time to time, Jara, you must, Ge, You must watch. Okay. Right? You must watch to make sure that these things are not interfering. These things, Qing and Ge, right? So you have to be watching to ensure that dullness and agitation are not interfering in your meditation. Are they going to interfere in your meditation? Yes. Are you ever, if you're learning to meditate, are you going to be able to avoid these things? No. Okay. Don't think that you're immune. Okay. It's like the baby comes out and you have to give the vaccines. All right. If you don't give the baby vaccines, they're going to get the measles and the chicken pox and all those other things. Right. Same thing here. Like if you don't, you are going to have, you're going to get this sickness. I'm sorry. Okay. So don't think you're not going to have it. Don't think you're not going to have subtle agitation or subtle dullness. Everybody has it. Everybody has it. But you have to develop the different skills so you can then vaccinate against it. Right? So it doesn't interfere with it. All right. How much time do I have? Okay, good. So Persis, let's see if you were paying attention. What's happening? What's happening here? Like, I highlighted some words. Do you know what they mean? No, that's okay. It's a quotation, yes. So we have the she. We have the lay from chujuk. What is chujuk? I hid the answer for those of you that were reading ahead. It's the guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life. All right, so we got some 4 lines here. Let's get somebody to read them. Let's see. Ludmila, how would you like to read? Do you have your visa yet for Mexico? Yes. Nice. We'll see you next week.
Lutan semki nakapla yantan yantu tak yawa
Jawa.
chawa. Tete kona tonani sheshin run wei san
Sungwei.
sun wei san ni do
Nice. Good job.
sun.
And she read them in meter as well. So nice job. All right. So you should examine Dak Jawa, Yang Dang Yang Du, over and over and over again. What the heck is going on with your mind and body? All right. What's happening? Nikab. What's happening in your body and mind? So in your meditation, you have to be watching what's going on. So you have something going on, then you need something watching what's going on. Who's watching what's going on while it's going on that's part of you? Figure it out later. There's a part of your mind that watches what the rest of the mind is doing. Dorna, to put it briefly, this day, dekona in itself. So to put it briefly, this is the definition of using watchfulness, sheishin. What was, yeah. Sungwei, the definition is Sheshin who's watching, okay? So basically a nice way of saying it is using watchfulness to guard the door, right? You're putting a bouncer at the front of the door to see who's going in and out. Who's going through the door of your awareness, right? The bouncer is part of the bar. All the objects are in the bar, okay? But it's part of it that's watching to see what the heck's going on. All right? So you must be examining and checking and have this part of the mind that's watching the rest of the mind. Yay, we finished that section. Good job. No, we didn't. Just kidding. We have one more line to do. Let's go. I lied. Let's see. Who would like to read? She's sleeping. Natalia, would you like to read or are you sleepy?
I'm sorry, I can read.
Okay.
Dana Torpai Ja Junva Na Lakpa Zinpa Dan Dampor Junva Dan De Yanyo Yoksu Sonma Sonmi Diu Takpa Shin Dranpa Mig Ten Tsinte Zintandam Porchet Sheshin Yi Chin Chingot
Jinga.
Chingo Changma Chung Tak Na Mikpa Kyon Dos Sheshin Nisherab Kichar Tokpayin.
Nice job. Nice. This is just explaining what I've been explaining the entire time. All right. So the porpa. Here's a little bowl. I have a bowl I'm holding on to, right? You have something in your hand, luck, right? You already have it, sin. There's your sin there. It's already in your hand. And you're holding on to it pretty well. All right. And you're checking whether, Doc, you're checking to see whether or not it's tilted over and crooked, or if you have a firm grip on it. Like, do you have a good, like you check in, you go, okay, we're doing good. Or is the bowl just a little crooked in my hand, right? Or is it about to slip out? Yo kyog, right? Is it about to slip out of my hand? Okay, so the ability to hold on to the object, drenpe, right? Sin, the ability to hold, having already held on to the object, there's your sin again, right? Is holding on to tight. So you're remembering your drenpa, right? The recollection is holding on to it. The sheshin, all right, the sheshin is what allows you to examine whether or not jungmajung you have jinga, dullness or agitation. So one is about holding on to the object. Drenpa reminds you to stay on the object. Sheshin checks to see what is the mind doing around the object. That's another way of talking about it. Agitation and dullness are kind of like the quality of the mind that's holding onto the object. Jinga is the quality of the claw. Here's the claw holding on to the cup. The object is not actually the mind itself. Agitation and dullness is in the claw. And so you need to, and you got to evaluate what's going on here. Is the claw on this, or is the claw on this? All right. the Drempa goes, wait, we should be on this object. Right? Does that make sense? Remembrance goes, oh, well, shit, I was supposed to hold on to this one. Sheshin goes, how well is that being held on to? Agitation or dullness. All right. Incidentally, now it explains what it is. Sheshin ni, is a kind of wisdom. Okay, it's considered part of it. It's part of a state of mind that has wisdom in it. So that's kind of a cool little way to conclude the section. Now we're trying to figure out, how do you have awareness or dullness? How do you watch your mind while you're holding on to an object? How are you doing all these things? The fact that you can watch the quality of your mind that's holding on to the object, that's considered wisdom. So that's a pretty cool place to stop. Except we're going to move on to one more line, because it's always good luck. It's always good luck to start the next section, to say we have a little bit more to do. We still have more to do. Marina, can you read this last section, please?
Непошипани чангни канрунг chung vana nienpo dumi chopa nepa yinpe de yin por ching gok chung par se shin Гю... Нет, это гирикпа на те ток ту ми чок пар чунг матак чин гё тра рак канг чунг па со сой нин по тен го пе.
Nice job. All right, here we go. So here's the fourth problem of meditation. We just finished the third problem of meditation. Now we're moving on to the fourth one. If any of the two arise, Jungwa, Ni Gangrung, any of these two, dullness or agitation, any of those two show up, and you do not do mi chepa, you do not apply the antidote, the nenpo. All right. That's considered the problem. That's considered problem number 4. Problem number 4 is your alarm went off and you didn't get out of the bathtub. All right. Your cookies are burning and you're just like, this bath is so damn nice. I don't give a shit if my house burns down. Okay. That's problem number 4. You just stayed in the bath. Okay. Let's see here. And so we must apply tenga. We must apply the antidotes individually. There's individual antidotes which arise for all 4 of these types of things. Jingud tra rak. So jingma tra, jingma rak. Good tra, good rak, meaning subtle dullness, obvious dullness, gross dullness, subtle dullness, gross agitation, and subtle agitation. All 4 of those things. Whichever 4 of these arise, there are individual antidotes for those. Okay. And we have to know what all those antidotes are. Once you identify what the problem is, there's 4 types of problems. There's four types of things that happen in problem 3. Gross and subtle agitation, gross and subtle dullness. And each of those 4 so individually have their own things to do to solve the problem. And what are those things? Stay tuned next time. Okay. Yay. Good job, everybody. Thanks for sticking around for this. This is one of my favorite topics of all time. So, and what's going to be neat is once we finish this chapter, is then we're going to move on to the emptiness chapter. And then we're going to learn how to apply emptiness in our meditation right away. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you, translators. Thank you, recorders. Thank you, everyone who makes this course possible. This is a lot of fun for me. And cool. And we'll see you beginning of when? September? Sometime beginning of September. We'll start again with ACI 12 and the next installment of the meditation chapter of the Lam Rim. Cool. Thank you all very much. Have a nice month off. Next week, please come. If you can't come to Mexico, which I don't think, if you don't have visas yet, it's too late. But we have a beautiful online program. Gina, can you put that up, please? We have a beautiful online program, the Devil Debates an Angel. By the way, we changed the title again. No. Yeah, we did. So Gina, where are you? Anyway, I'm sure you've all seen the advertisements. We're going to be in Mexico. It's a beautiful program. The Devil Debates the Angel. Thank you, Natalia. Great. Go to that link. You can join us online for free. You can pay by donation, or we also have some additional programming available. That all that money just goes to support ACI so we can continue offering all of these courses. And then coming up in December, start saving money now. We're going to be in Kyoto. It's going to be a beautiful program on joyful effort. So Pabonka Rinpoche's presentation of joyful effort, and this will be the end of the Lam Rim. There we go. There's our Angel Debates the Devil. And then in Kyoto, we'll be doing the end of Geshe-la's teaching of the Lam Rim, of his cycle of teaching it. And we'll be ending on joyful effort, which I think is a beautiful place to end. All right, cool. Thank you all very much. Hope to see you all soon and say goodbye to each other. Have a great day.
Adios.
Thank you, Asia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice stay in Spain.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Thank you all. See you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye, Christian. Bye, Emily, Percy, Eka, Marina. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.